What up? It's the big homie OD, AHAT.TV. We're out here in Las Vegas in October. It's a couple weeks before the AHAT convention, which is coming up real shortly on October 24th and 25th. We got J.O. Felony, the homie, going against the other big homie, C-Knight from the Dove Shack. We also got Danny Myers on the card, Jay Scott on the card, the Jones on the card. We got darn near everybody in the AHAT movement. We definitely have at least one person from each of the AHAT divisions coming out to Las Vegas and just doing the convention real big like that. But that's not what I'm here for right now. Right now, we're about to get into my prediction for the Dizaster versus Cassidy battle. All right. Okay, let me break it down. I'm going to break it down to you in categories. Okay, so let's do the bar category first. If you want to just compare only bars from Dizaster and bars from Cassidy, I think Cassidy will probably outbar Dizaster. That's my prediction on that. I think his style of bars and his structure and all that is kind of like the style that's most relevant right now. And I think Dizaster is more on the multis and all that stuff, and that's kind of like, you know, almost not the dopest style right now. You know what I'm saying? So when it comes to bars, I got to give the nod to Cassidy. And let's see, what's the next category I can compare him in? Let's do performance. Cassidy does shows. He's like an industry artist, so he does shows every now and then, performs in front of a big audience. But performance and battling is like, it's a lot different. You got to play to the crowd, yes, but you also have to, like this new era, the YouTube era of battle rapping, is like real aggression oriented. And Cassidy has like a laid back style. Like he's real cool, laid back, and even when he used to battle, it wasn't in the super confrontational style that it is right now. Like in the style right now, you get like super close, all up on somebody's ear, and you poke them and, you know, tap them on their chest and all that stuff. And like when Cassidy was battling, they used to stand a safe distance away from each other, respect each other's space. Well, in this era, there's no respecting of each other's space, and it's about being loud and aggressive. And Dizaster definitely has that. Like, he's very aggressive, he's very loud, and he's used to and accustomed to the modern era of battling, which is the aggressive, all up in your face, all up in your space style. So when it comes to performance from that aspect, I give the nod to Dizaster. Performance-wise, he's going to do better than Cassidy in this battle. And he's also tall. He's a lot taller, like considerably taller than Cassidy, and it shouldn't make a big difference, but it actually does. When you're the aggressor in a battle and you're just way bigger than them, it kind of makes what you're saying that much stronger, and it kind of takes away from what they're saying. They almost got to compensate for that size of difference and that size of, or that lack of aggression. So that's what Cassidy's going to be up against. All right, another thing. What's another category in battling? Delivery. Okay, delivery. Delivery, Cassidy has a dope delivery, but it's lacking the aggression that's kind of needed in this format, where Dizaster, sometimes he damn near has too much aggression. He has all the aggression you ever need. He's one of the most aggressive MCs out there, and he's so passionate about what he says, and that's really what sells a lot of his stuff, and that's what might not sell Cassidy's stuff. Like, he just says it so cool that, you know, it's not necessarily passion or conviction behind what he's saying, where Dizaster will sell everything because of his passion and his conviction. So delivery, I give it to Dizaster. And we'll go to freestyle as the next category. I don't know if Cassidy freestyles, but Dizaster, he's probably one of the best in the game. He's in the tops of freestyling. He's in the tops of freestyling in the battle game right now. So I don't know if Cassidy freestyles or not, but even if he does, I guarantee you he doesn't do it at the level that Dizaster does. There's no way he does. So when it comes to freestyling, I give the nod to Dizaster. What's another category about it?
Crowd control.
Crowd control. I would give that. Let's talk about Cassidy first. When it comes to crowd control, he does performances, live performances, and all that stuff, but not necessarily the same type of performance that a battle is. So even though he is very accustomed to performing in front of large audiences, he doesn't have he's not going to have the crowd control of Dizaster. Dizaster's crowd control is strictly for the battle crowd. Well, not strictly for the battle crowd, but he developed it by crowd controlling the battle crowd. So his crowd control ability is tailor-made for the battle scene, where Cassidy's is probably tailor-made more for the industry performance type stuff. So in that category, I also got to go with Dizaster. I'm not asking your opinion. Look at this OD's blog. What's another category? What's another category, Prime? Let's call it schemes and bars and personals. I'm gonna put all that in one category. So basically what they're talking about, the content of what they're saying. Cassidy battled before, but if you notice his battle against Freeway, and probably a lot of battles, I would say probably 90% of Cassidy battles were somebody just told him, hey, I want you to battle this dude, and they would go over there and they would battle. So I don't think his battling style or the era he grew up in was the same as the new YouTube era, which is where you know who your opponent is, you know well in advance, and you prepare strictly for that opponent, and you even have time to look up information. You could go on the internet and dig up information on that person you're battling. The era that Cassidy was in, they didn't do all that. Like, it was more of you show up and you're going to battle this guy, and they would just have to spit their bars. So I think the content of what these two MCs, when I compare their content, I think Dizaster is going to have the more relevant content for a battle to make it like he's familiar with using the internet, digging up information on people, and Cassidy's like a known person, so he's gonna have a lot of information, a lot of resources that he could put into it. So I would give that category to Dizaster as well. So basically, to sum it up, the only category I give to Cassidy, well, there's one more category that I'll give to Cassidy. Let's do the swag category. I actually think Cassidy has more swag than Dizaster. Dizaster might be lacking. Hey, Dizaster's the homie. Shout out to Dizaster. I think Dizaster might be lacking in the swag category, but swag alone and bars alone can't win you a battle. It's just so much other stuff that goes into it. And not only that, I think like a lot of people that battling is like a sport. And if you respect it as a sport, then you wouldn't expect somebody that hasn't played that sport in a long time to just come into the sport and be dominant. Even if they were dominant years ago, like when Jordan retired, he had to play in a lot of games to get back accustomed to the speed of the NBA and all that stuff, and then he was back on his former playing days. So Cassidy just coming back to battling, is he gonna be in top shape or top form for battling? Hell no. He's gonna do good. I think he's smart enough to really put time into it. He's being paid enough, so he definitely needs to take time and practice and record and see what he looks like on camera and go back and study and fix what he's lacking on his aggression and all that stuff. But overall, I think Dizaster is going to take this battle. And I also think that the longer the rounds are, the more it favors Dizaster. If the rounds are like 90 seconds, then Cassidy has a good chance of looking good. But if the rounds are 2-3 minutes long, the longer it goes, the more Cassidy has to fuck up, basically. So that, and also I want to address the money issue real quick. Like they say that Cassidy's getting $200,000. Then I seen a vlog where Dizaster said he's not getting paid that much. He is getting paid a lot. I think it's safe to say that he is getting paid a lot, and it is in the six figures. But what's more importantly to me is whether this event actually makes money, because some people, like battlers, say, oh, he just got 200,000. Well, like I seen a vlog with Cassidy. He was like, I'm making 200,000 this battle. My next battle, I'm gonna charge like 400,000 or whatever. Well, it doesn't really work like that. How it works is, if you got paid 200,000, if they make money, then you could up your price. But if the motherfuckers lose that just paid you 200,000, then no, your price should go down. Like Mayweather doesn't always get paid more than he made his previous fight. Every time he makes or loses money, or they don't make as much, it kind of fluctuates up and down. He always makes a gang of money, but he's not always making more money every fight. He broke the well, I ain't even gonna go into that no more, but I really want to see it if a company could recoup after they invested this much money into this battle. I think they're paying like Dizaster $40,000, which is dope, man. I think I'm glad that Dizaster's getting that money. I'm glad Cassidy's getting that money, but it's important to see if this event actually makes money, because that's a lot of money to recoup, and a lot of other outsiders that are considering on getting into this event are going to look real closely at the pay-per-view sales and the attendance at this event, and see if it's even worth investing all this money. Because there's been millionaires that came into battle rap before. If you guys don't know, like the RBN, Rap Battle Network, those were the people that bought Soul Train from Don Cornelius, and they was millionaires, and they came into the battle game, and they went out of the battle game in like a year because they wasn't making no money. So it don't matter how much money you have, it's can you come in here and make money. That's the bottom line. And you know, these people, this event has a lot to prove, because I don't think nobody has come close to making the money to recoup that much of an investment. So this big card, I want to see if they could make that money. But big shout out to Dizaster and Cassidy for taking the battle. And out of anybody on the West Coast, I think Dizaster was one of the best picks. I know a lot of people out there hating, like saying, oh, that, you know, he's like one of the last people we would want to see Cassidy battle. But they battling out here in L.A. somewhere. So it definitely should be a West Coast person he's battling. And who better than Dizaster on the West Coast? I don't think no battler is bigger than Dizaster on the West Coast. So it's a good matchup. You know, there are some, I'm not going to lie, there are some battlers that I would have rathered seen Cassidy come back against, but considering that it's in LA, nah, Dizaster need that. The Dizaster was the best pick. Like, he'll get more people out than some of them East Coast dudes would have, for sure. So big shout out to them. Big shout out to everybody that's behind that event.